All right, welcome back to Rad Rolls playing The Quiet Year. We're going to be jumping into the core essence of the game this week. And what we're going to start with is talking about the weeks of the game. This is in the Chapter 3 section of the game called Plays. I will start by describing a week. Each week in our year is a turn taken by one player, with play moving clockwise around the table. It's going to be just designated of the order. I will designate the order. The other players are quiet audience members unless prompted otherwise. Weeks take an average of 2 to 3 minutes to complete. Each week follows these three phases in order. So you will play a card. So the active player draws a card. I will draw it for you. That way it shows up on all the screens. You're going to read the relevant text aloud and resolve it. Bold text indicates the card has specific rules. Then you're going to adjust the dice. So the active player reduces each project die by 1, and any finished projects are updated. So as a week goes by, let's say you're going to take 6 weeks to do a project. The player's turn is going to be a week, so you're going to move all those clocks down. I'll show you how to do that when we get to it. And then the last piece is take an action. The active player chooses to take an action, discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project. Moving on to playing a card. As there are 52 cards, so there are 52 weeks. We won't necessarily get to play them all because the nuclear fallout is bound to happen at any point. Most of the cards have 2 options to choose from with an or divider between. So you pick the option that you find the most interesting or fitting and read the text aloud. The card might ask you a question, bring bad news, or create an opportunity. If you drew the card, it's up to you to make all of the decisions. So it's not a group effort. It is up to whoever drew the card to make that decision. Many cards have bold text, which indicates specific rules to follow. Those don't affect the other phases of the week. Whenever it makes sense for a situation, add new drawings and symbols to the map to reflect what has changed. So pretty much every time you draw a card, you're going to be resolving it and drawing something. Adjusting the dice. So unless your card specifically told you otherwise in bold text, the next phase of the week is adjusting the dice. So you reduce each project die by 1. If a project reaches 0, the die gets removed and the project is complete. Whoever started the project gets to tell everyone how it turns out and update the map to reflect its completion. If the project is finished early because of a card, instead the active player will tell everyone how it turned out. So pretty much we're going to be creating projects and different stuff, and as the weeks go by, those will finish. Sometimes they will fail, sometimes they'll succeed, sometimes they won't even get done in the first place. So if a project die was just put on the board a moment ago as a result of a card, don't adjust it that week. It's just getting underway. A completed project is usually successful. This doesn't always mean that the whole community is happy with the results, but it generally goes as planned. An exploration project will always find something. Let's move on to discover something new. So these are part of the 3 actions that I said. After you adjust the project die, you're going to do one of these 3 actions. So the first one is discover something new. So one of the 3 action types is discover something new. Introduce a new situation. It might be a problem, an opportunity, or a bit of both. Draw that situation on the map. Drawing should be simple and small, smaller than an inch, finished in under 30 seconds. Whenever things seem too controlled and easy, we can use this action to introduce new issues and dilemmas. When individual characters get named, we can record those names in an index card where we'll keep it all tracked. Frankly, there's an audio track of all of this, so I'll be able to track that. So here's some examples of what that would be. There's a dried up well at the edge of town, or mangy wolves have been slinking around the woods at night, or a self-declared prophet arrives. So the next one is hold a discussion. Another one of the 3 action types is hold a discussion. You can choose to open with a question or a statement, starting from you and going clockwise. Each player gets to weigh in once with a single statement of 1 to 2 sentences. If you opened with a question, you get to weigh in last. If you opened with a statement, that's it for you. A discussion never results in a decision being made. Everyone weighs in, then it's over. This is how conversations work in communities. They are untidy and inconclusive affairs. It's important to stick to 1 to 2 sentences. If any of us feel like we have more to say on a topic, we can always hold another discussion about it another week. Each discussion is tied to a situation on the map. When the discussion ends, mark the situation with a small dot. So some examples like should we strike back against the bikers, or we could use the old school bus as a sleeping area for children, or I think we need to stop wasting our energy trying to build fences and focus on building actual homes. The last action that you can take is start a project. You choose a situation and declare what the community will do to resolve it. There's no agreeing or disagreeing. The community simply begins work. As a group, quickly decide how many weeks the project would take to complete from 1 to 6. Remember, you are a small community, and it isn't easy or quick to build a house or repair a water wheel. If a project would reasonably take longer than 6 weeks to complete, it will need to be completed in stages. Place a project die on the map with a number showing how many weeks it will take to collect. So some example projects are we're converting the abandoned mine shaft into a cold storage area for food, or we're going to send a search party to the city on the horizon to search for food and survivors. So some ideas for that. The other thing is contempt tokens. If you ever feel like you weren't consulted or honored in a decision-making process, you can take a piece of contempt and place it in front of you. This is how we express disagreement or tension. If someone makes a statement or starts a project that you don't agree with, you don't get to speak out of turn. You instead are invited to take a piece of contempt. Contempt will generally remain in front of players until the end of the game. It will act as a reminder of past tensions. If someone else does something that you greatly support, that would mend relationships and rebuild trust. You can discard a contempt token to show that they have healed past tensions. I don't have any tokens available, so what I'm going to ask you to do is
try something real quick for that.
Yeah, try something for that.
Let's see. Yeah. So do you see that 19 that's on the board, Dave?
Yes, I do.
Can you right click on that and turn that into like a token or add a name plate or anything like that?
Let me see here. Turning into a token.
40 minutes, give or take.
I can move that to it's on the token layer.
Okay. What options do you have when you right click it?
Delete, copy, paste, undo to front to back, ping everyone, focus, ping, advanced, and then that's the flip, lock dimensions, all that stuff. Your layer, which layer it's on, and multi-sided, random side, or choose a side.
Interesting. I thought that you could give these nameplates. So what I can do, I think what I'll do is I'm going to create a little table here, maybe at the top right, keep things balanced.
Sure. Probably put a tally mark situation.
Or yes, I also have contempt for that very reason. It's being a little goofy. I'm in the process coming up with something. I
can help. Here, I'm helping.
Yeah, you sure are. You're a helper, all right.
Tap it.
And then what I can do because okay. Is if
this
everybody
is great
could
podcast content.
Yeah, it is. So if everybody could roll a D20 right now. Cool. Now, so for example, so you can actually drag that D20 and put it next to your stuff. And then if you right click it and go to multi-sided and choose side, you can actually choose what number it says. I'd recommend 20 right now just to pretend that like we're at 0, because you can't have a 0 on a D20. And then, Dave, you can move those someplace more convenient if you want to.
Yeah, all of this is kind of like going up here, and it's going to be way smaller. Wait, nope, undo.
Oh, you
undo.
can make those smaller. That's cool.
Yeah, these are all going to be way smaller than everything. We'll come to it.
Yeah,
we spent too much time on this.
When it's relevant, but yeah.
Sure.
I think
so. Abundance. I've got two more things for you. Abundance and scarcity. So we've already established what our abundances are, what our scarcities are. So we'll have one resource of those, which is, I believe, real estate, and the rest of those resources are in scarcity. So these are kind of guides for interpreting the health of the community. We can add or subtract things to that list whenever it feels appropriate to do so. If a project, creates a scarcity that becomes an abundance, that's also great. If more scarcities come about, we can add that in. And the last piece is about pacing. So each of these suits of cards will have a season. So we're going to start in order with spring. So spring will ask us a lot of questions, and we will learn more about our community's inner workings and surrounding landscape. In summer, larger threats and greater progress will both emerge. Autumn will challenge us with more serious dangers and losses. In winter, the community will continue to work its preparations, while we as players will contend with the dramatic irony at any moment the nuclear fallout will drop. If we say Frost Shepherds, that is just the stand-in that we're doing is nuclear fallout. So I'm looking at the Discord call right now, and the order is going to be from left to right, like we're reading things. So the order of play is going to be Cody, myself, Jared, May, then Mike. So we will get started. Sound good?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh,
Do you need to shuffle the decks in, Dave?
I'm doing that right now. Cool. Everything's getting shuffled.
Alrighty.
Everything's getting shuffled. We'll start one by one, and now we'll begin. Cody.
Oh,
there
all right.
Is your card.
You see a good omen. What is it? Or you see a bad omen. What is it? Well, I mean, I feel like it's very fitting for this being the first card that it should probably be a bad omen, being that the bombs have fallen.
I like that. So there's like a general panic.
Yeah, you could say, mild discomfort at the current situation.
All right. What does that look like on the map?
A bunch of people. Well, I guess the Doomers are kind of like having a little party on Main Street.
Sounds good. Draw it.
And everyone else is a little less enthusiastic. All right, I'm just going to move. Can I move this icon? I can't move this icon. Okay. We'll freehand then. Zoom on in here. I don't know. What does the party look like?
The kazoos.
Banners.
Banners. Confetti.
Party poppers.
Red cups.
Ticker tape.
Silly string.
That looks good. Yeah.
This is a guy doing a keg stand.
All right, cool. I like it. All right. So it is now my turn. Oh, wait, that's Autumn. Sorry.
Dave, a question. Does he also do one of the three actions?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You can either discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project. Since there are no projects going on, you don't move any dice.
Yeah, right. Oh, God. Man, I feel like I want to start a project right away. Yeah, I feel like the project that I want to start would be just like taking stock, I guess. I don't really know what that could
Like
could look
inventory.
like, but like,
Inventory.
yeah, exactly. Like, all right, how much food do we have? How much water do we have? You know, that kind of thing of you know, getting bearings on the situation.
I think like complete stock of the town and the bearings and everything that what everybody has. That's probably a 2 to 3 week project, I would say, because like if you're trying to get everyone together and really do that, that's probably I would say 2 or 3 weeks to get it done. What do you guys think?
I like that.
That makes sense.
All right. I'm gonna put on a. Oops, I did a roll from the D20. I'm at D6. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that this is led by the preppers, because the preppers are doing their stuff. All right. So you started a project. Now it is my turn, and I've got a card here from Spring. What is the most beautiful thing in this area, or what is the most hideous thing in this area? The most. I'm gonna say because I'd be like that. What's the most hideous thing in this area? There is a tied to this real estate situation. There is probably going to be like a row of houses that are colored like houses are in Miami, like very super pastel, and it's like there's like little flamingo, like it's all very themed, like Miami. It's like a Miami street, and everybody hates it. Nobody likes it. Everyone's just generally pretty mad it even exists. But I'm coming up with some various colors here to kind of denote the Miami-ness of it all. And I'm going to put a little flamingo on there so you remember that it's absolutely one of
I was going to say, you started with blue and gold, and that's not what I think of when I think of Miami,
all right,
fellow West Virginian.
Give me a second to draw it all in. Yes,
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's the Miami area. Let's see here. I am going to I'm going to hold a discussion. And the discussion is for the community, and it's should we let the doomers lead us? So what we're going to do is we're going to go in that order from here, from Jared, May, Mike, Cody, and then back to me, to give a sentence or two on what you think about that question. Should we let the doomers lead us?
Just because they guessed the bombs would drop doesn't make them good decision makers.
All right, May, you're on mute.
So I like the idea of them taking the. I'm sure that they have some kind of plan other than just surviving to this point. I mean, they would, right? If they had all sorts of stuff put aside to be able to survive it. So maybe it's a good idea to let them take the reins.
Mike? You're muted.
Somewhere.
Even a broken clock right twice a day. Oh,
You're kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Weird. Okay. Let me see if I'm closer to the microphone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. So
Never mind.
It's There are technical issues, Mike.
Yeah.
Could you disconnect and reconnect? Maybe I feel like that's
I think
fixed
that
it
would fix
before.
it. Yep.
It's like it wasn't handling longer snippets of audio that well.
It was weird.
Hear me now.
Yeah.
At the moment, yes.
At the moment.
I was going to say a broken clock is right twice a day. That does not mean they should lead us.
Cool. Cody.
Why would we let the people doing keg stands in the middle of the street be in charge of anything? They are not taking this seriously.
The Doomers were the only one to get it right. So they may be right about other things that we don't know. And that's where the discussion ends. And it is now Jared's turn. So Jared?
Does
Did you
the
adjust the dice?
yeah, the project ticks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Whoop.
Excellent. This is the Six of Hearts spring card. Questions are there children in the community? If there are, what is their role in the community? Or how old are the oldest members of the community? What unique needs do they have? I'm going to say that I'm going to go with the elders in this particular case. I feel like this community probably had a lot of the younger families move away, and therefore there go the kids. So I feel like this is going to be a older community. How old are the eldest members? I'm going to say 70s to 80s. So I'm going to say that our elders are in the 70 to 80 range. What unique needs do they have? I feel like a lot of these folks have probably been career workers. They have a sense of just like needing to work and to do something. They always need to be busy. And the idleness and the lack of just like, oh, there's nothing to do now. Like there's no sense of like reward for that work. I think that's going to be problematic for them. So I think the unique need that they require right now is a purpose in their continued work, even though they could have retired like 5-10 years ago. So as far as a picture for that, so I think I'm going to go with an empty rocking chair. Empty rocking chair because a rocking chair to sort of like the symbol of someone old or idle, but empty because there's nobody in it. They don't want to be in it. I'm going to try to pick a nice dark. There. Empty rocking chair. So because of this, I think I do want to start a project. I think one of the elders, maybe a religious leader, probably realizes that some of these folks aren't going to last long if they aren't given a sense of purpose. So I think since it is spring, I want to say that there is the creation of a community garden. And maybe it's not food, maybe it's flowers, maybe it is food, just something constructive for these folks to have, something to work on that will yield both literal and proverbial fruit. So yeah, I'm going to go with community garden. Now, I know this is probably a long-term plan because it is spring. So I think maybe what's the first part of this plan is to the preparation of a community garden. We're not going to grow anything, but like laying it out and tilling the soil and that type of thing, I think that's what I want to do. And because it is the elderly sort of doing this, I want to go with like how does 4 weeks strike everyone? Just a month, like the month of March. We're going to till this up and get stuff situated and figure out what we want to grow and plant it and all that stuff. And then we'll have the groundwork available to have a bigger garden later. So
It makes sense.
do you want to put that die out or would you like for me to?
You can do it.
Okay.
Feel free.
And I think this needs to be in town someplace. So
All right. Next up, I'm going to draw a card for May's turn here. So
Okay.
read the card aloud and let us know what you think.
Okay. So there's another community somewhere on the map. Where are they? What sets them apart from you? Or what belief or practice helps to unify your community? I'm going to say there is another community. It's a decent distance away. I would have to check on a map, so I'm not going to do that. But suffice it to say, in this particular universe, it was the place where supposedly the four corners of the United States were connected with railroads, and they claim that they are actually the center of the United States. And they were trying very hard to make a case for them being the true center of the United States and them being, this fake community that was being built nearby that, was only famous for their fireworks and firearms, that they're a bunch of posers and that they're truly the center. And so there's kind of a crosstown rivalry going with them. Over this completely useless title that did no one any good. And they were a little bit irritated that ultimately the media decided that our town was actually the center, not theirs. Not that it made a big difference.
The railroad truthers.
Yeah. It reminds me of, well, which city is really Surf City, USA? And Santa Barbara's like, it's us. And of course, Huntington Beach is like, it's us. And the rest of us are like, who cares?
So, fun fact, this is a real problem that America has, is actually there are many communities who claim to be the center of the United States.
Like Four Corners and like the junction that actually has the Golden Railroad spike. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. So draw that on the map. Your draw tools, by the way, I didn't explain this. There's a paintbrush on the left side of your screen, and you have a few different options: freehand, circle, draw shape over there.
So I'm going to draw a arrow. I'm going to draw an arrow over here on the other side of the. Oh, sorry. I guess it's not an arrow. It's kind of just. Give me a line, baby. There we go. Freehand. And over here in this general direction, just out of sight, is supposedly the town that says they are the real center of the United States in that general vicinity, on the other side of the Salt Flats.
Cool. I like it.
Okay.
I think Cody's project for The inventory is complete now. So, Cody, feel free to delete that die and draw in whatever you think is the case for the complete project. May, the next thing you get to do is either discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
I would like to discover something new.
All right. What do you discover?
I'm going to discover that there was, before all the gaudy flamingo fronted houses and gated community cookie cutter houses, that there was a ancient community that was built on the spot, probably built and abandoned by likely Native Americans, and the developers who decided this was the spot they were going to put the place essentially just kind of mowed it over and put new stuff on top of it, not taking into consideration there'd be anything of value. But if you dig down in certain places, you can find archaeological evidence of people who lived here a long time ago.
Classic.
And likely either
problem.
died out or left the area long before now.
I like that. Feel free to draw that on the map.
All right. So I'm going to put, I'm going to do an ancient poop chute, like
Cool.
right here, because that's where all the good stuff is in archaeology, is down in the latrines.
I
So
like it.
there you go. There's all sorts
like
of
it.
stuff down in here, and then it's all filled in with dirt and debris. So
Nice.
that's supposed to be a hole.
I'm glad we've put the supplies right next to it.
Yeah, well, the supplies were there.
That's
We
why
didn't
you
know
found
there
it.
would be an archaeological dig. Yeah, that's how we found the archaeological dig. Is we were making room for our supplies.
All right, Mike, it is your turn. Your card is drawn for you.
Okay. There's a large body of water on the map. Where is it? What does it look like? Or there's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it? And why is it abandoned? We're going with this one, the giant man-made structure on the map. And that giant man-made structure is because we are in Kansas. Let's say it is a 3-story tall cob of corn. Is
Perfect.
built. Let's see. Let's say it's kind of in the south, kind of by the road to nowhere. Draw that in. And why was it abandoned? Because all the deaths of the workers that occurred while it was being built gave it the reputation of being haunted.
Giant haunted corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
the gift
Fallout
shop
to me.
inside is haunted.
I love it.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
There's a little entrance there at the bottom. There we go.
Oh, and one rule that I'm going to make is if you start a project, you're going to be the one that's keeping track of the weeks for doing that way because we're not at the same table. So if you want to move that down, feel free. Let's see here. Mike, you get to discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
I want to create something new, kind of on this theme of things being buried. Outside of town, a mass robot grave was found.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, correct. It was. Draw it.
Okay.
It's like all those Nintendo cartridges from the ET video game.
Oh, Jesus
are all-
Christ.
It's perfect. All right. Cody, it is now your turn. I'm going to draw your card. is now available to you.
A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done?
Awesome.
Oh my god. What has this old man done? God. All right. So the old man is actually a Chinese communist spy. And he has admitted to his subterfuge to the community.
Wow.
Oh, fuck. Damn.
Which we all know now because of Tim Kaine in his most recent interview that it was confirmed that the Chinese did drop the bombs first. That's from the mouth of the Fallout creator.
Oh.
Which then the
Well, I'm glad
person
that
interviewing him,
mystery's been solved.
yes, the person interviewing him was like, "Oh wow, you just destroyed the whole discussion." He's like, "Oh, well, pretend I didn't say that."
It was Voltec. No, it was the Chinese.
All right, so where is
Yeah.
this old man? Do you wanna draw like a red star somewhere? Like what's going on here?
Ooh.
You know what? I think he owned the fireworks.
That's
Jesus
very
Christ.
lovable. It's like it's yeah.
I don't. I'll work on drawing it, but
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me some
you're
time.
fine.
I gotta draw like
That
stars
is
and shit.
so-
So
Chef's kiss. That's awesome.
All right, the next thing you're gonna do is either discover something new, start a discussion, or start a project.
we should hold a discussion on what to do about the fireworks shop.
All right, so your discussion is what do we do about the fireworks shop?
Yes, and the old man.
Okay. I think we should strap rockets to the old man and send him off.
Now
Jared?
that man has been a staple of our community, has been very kind and considerate. Not all communists can be bad, right? As for the fireworks, I feel like there's some value in munitions like that.
May?
So he was a spy, but obviously, like he's cut off and isn't a threat to us anymore. Maybe we can use his knowledge to figure out how to set up, to find out if there's any other infiltrators and to make sure that nothing else like this ever happens again. So
Mike?
we'll Von Braun him.
I say we put him under house arrest because we might need him as leverage in case there's a ground invasion.
And Cody.
We should find out how he was communicating with his people back in China. Maybe we can use that equipment.
Ooh.
All right. Now it's my turn. I'm going to draw a card for myself here. I have the Ace of Hearts. What group has the highest status in the community? What must people do to gain inclusion in this group? Or are there distinct family units in the community? If so, what family structures are common? I'm going to go for what group has the highest status in the community and what must people do to gain inclusion in this group. I think that there are the people with the highest status in this community, and I'm thinking about Kansas. I'm thinking that these are just people that own tractors. There is a large group of people that are just tractor owners, and now they're the last tractor owners in America, and pretty much ride their tractors constantly through town, away from the throngs. They are the elite of the community, and the only way to be a part of the members that ride these big tractors is to own a tractor. So I'm going to be drawing a little tractor. And I'm going to do a freehand thing. And they're going to be right here in the middle of the community here. There's some wheels. And I'm going to draw a little square to put on the wheels there. And there's the little cab. Yeah, there it is. That's a tractor.
The Dawn Deers.
The Dawn Deer. Yes. Yes, the Dawn Deers. It's perfect. All right. So Jared, your project is completed, right?
Yes.
What was your project again?
To the beginnings of a community farm. So
That's right.
Tilling plots, anything like that. Nothing's really been planted, but we now have a space for that.
Cool. All right. So I am going to start a project. My project is going to be building a I'm going to have I'm going to try to build a vault. Not a full like Vault Tech vault, but somebody is like, hey, I remember the vaults that they built. Let's see if we can build one. Just a group of people decide they want to build a little vault. I think that's a 6-weeker. That's probably the maximum, or maybe it can be done in stages. Maybe the one room can be done
I feel like that needs to be stages. Like, I feel like it'll take that many weeks just to dig the pit.
Initial pit. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And then there's going to be time to actually do the structure around it. And then but yeah, I think the pit is going to be probably take that long.
Yeah, I like that. So they're going to hollow out the earth. That's the first thing, and that's going to take 6 weeks for them to do. Does that sound good?
And then we'll have a big hole at the end. So,
all right, I'm going to make my own little counter here. Let's see here. Text in there. 6 weeks. Oops. 6. There we go. And put that in my little box. So that's the hollowing out for the vault, the first stage of that. Next up, we've got Jared. I'm going to draw your card for you, and it'll appear on the screen.
Okay. I have drawn the 5 of Hearts. There is a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what? So it is spring. No, I think we need to go with disquieting legend. I think it's too early to play the tornado card, both in game and seasonally. So the disquieting legend about this place, I think we need to create a cryptid, and this cryptid, I think, needs to relate to the fact that this is the center of the United States, and perhaps this is some type of cryptid that is drawn to the center of the United States, much like something might be drawn to like a magnetic pole. And this creature, what would it do? Maybe it causes disruptions around like the rock pile and stuff, like the rock pile that we had that was almost center of town. This cryptid has moved the piles to become the true center of the United States, or it does like I don't know, just some unexplainable paranormal stuff. And maybe it's used to kind of scare kids to behave and not go out at night or not climb on the damn rock pile, or anything weird happens around town, they just blame it. And I think and I'm going to call it Uncle Steve, which is a close relation to Uncle Sam.
I was about to ask what the name was.
Yeah, so we're going to go with Uncle Steve. Is this sort of cryptid? So we're going to give that a little patriotic. I don't go with top hat, so we'll go with. You know what? I can't draw, so it's going to be patriotic top hat.
So he's like Spring Hill Jack, only patriotic. Cool.
Everybody's favorite Kansas cryptid, Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve. Brothers to Uncle Sam, or maybe by marriage. We'll say by marriage related to Uncle Sam. That leaves me with what I want to do. So I'm going to do something a little bit contentious, and be prepared to get your contempt tokens out if you want. I think that there is a contingent of folks in this town that wants to interrogate the communist spy. So I think he goes missing and is locked up in someone's house, and they're going to try to figure out what he knows. And I would like to put 2 weeks on it, because I feel like 2 weeks of, just like thorough.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So how good of a communist spy is it? Because if they sent an elderly man to the middle of Kansas, I don't know if he's the best they had. So I'm going to go 2 weeks.
Game a long time.
Are there any?
2 weeks is good.
Yeah. Okay. If there's no objections to 2 weeks, and then I know this might be a little bit contentious, so this might be an opportunity for a contempt token if anyone wants to throw one in. But we're all kind of psychopaths, so we might not get any. So.
That's true. We're all kind of fly by the seat of our pants here. All right. Great job. May, I have drawn your card for you. You may read it.
An old piece of machinery is discovered broken, but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be useful for? Or an old piece of machinery is discovered cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it? So I'm going to say that they discover a mine shaft with an old rickety elevator that was completely capped off that takes them down into I'm going to just say like a salt mine, that they tried to mine salt at some point and it didn't turn out to be worth it because of the purity levels. It wasn't good enough to make money off of. So they just kind of took the stuff off the surface and capped it. And it's all of the gears, like the air pump, all the parts that you use in active, like mid-century mining setup are all still there underground, but all the stuff that was above ground was completely removed, and nobody knew it was even there.
All right. That sounds good. Move that card out
Big
of your way.
rickety elevator.
Yeah, you can draw a little elevator or a big rickety elevator.
I'm going to make the rickety elevator is going to be, I'm going to say it's probably over here by the old factories. How do you draw an elevator? How do you draw an elevator? Just like, ding. There you go.
I like it. And all right, so you get to either discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project as well.
Okay. I would like to. I want to discover something new.
Okay.
I want to discover that there is something hidden underneath the firework factory.
What is it?
Well, when we actually bust it open, we find that it looks like at some point it was going to possibly be a communist base, but it looks like they never got far enough into the creation of it to actually put anything important in it. It's just kind of cement slab walls, like a couple cots, and hollowed out spaces where they were probably going to put computers or something. And it looks like somebody decided, yeah, it's not going to be worth it, and pulled the plug, literally. It doesn't even have power.
I like that. That's good. Fits the framing of it. Feel free to draw that in.
Okay.
Moving on to Mike. Your card is drawn.
Okay. What important and basic tools does the community lack? Or where are you storing your food, and why is this a risky place to store things? Let's go with this one. Where are you storing your food, and why is this a risky place to store things? Well, for some reason, this weirdo community is storing all of our food in the ancient Indian artifacts poop chute. It's right there. We just thought it was a good idea. It's like, well, the hole's already there. Might as well just put everything down there.
Hey, free air conditioning. Be underground.
That's what we did.
I like it. I'm a fan.
You
can draw some.
I'm gonna draw some boxes into that. I'm gonna use circles. I'm just gonna fill
the poop chute with food.
Well, it's mostly just a hole in the ground now, but there's like some broken clay pottery and arrowheads and stuff at the bottom. And now there's other stuff in there.
All right. So let's see. I believe Jared's project is complete now. So what was the outcome of that project? How did it complete?
Oh, outcome. So I think that the individuals that did this interrogation, either this old man was too good and they weren't able to get anything out of him, or he literally knew nothing. And I think that this contributes to their hospitality scarcity. Like I think some people learned a valuable lesson. They thought that they would be able to get something good out of trying to squeeze water out of a stone. And it just kind of highlighted their lack of humanity as a result. So hard lessons learned in this after school special.
Cool. Mike, you get to either discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
I'm going to start a project. I think we need to excavate the robot graveyard and see if there are any usable, salvageable supplies, like robots that can be rebuilt, or just valuable metal or weapons that can be salvaged from these robots. And I think that would take, I would say, like, these are just regular folks. I'd say probably 3 weeks in order to, kind of dig it up, sort it, see what's necessary, see what's usable.
It's like Junkyard Wars action.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Yeah. So what I've been doing is I just write in a text above it, but the dice for me some are not working for me correctly. But I'm just writing in text for the number and then just keeping track of it. So feel free to do that.
I will just do that.
Next up, we've got Cody. Cody, your card is now available.
someone new arrives. Who? Or two of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them? Okay. Yeah. Someone new arrives. May, remind me, what was the name of the community that was off? Like in the distance, the Ravel one. Did we decide on like a name for them?
You're muted, May, but I don't think we decided on a community.
Okay. But whatever the name of them.
True Center, Kansas.
True Center, Kansaser
Nice.
arrives. And they tell the town that actually they were important enough in the true center of America because, in fact, they did get bombed.
Oh.
So are they
Oh my
ghouls?
god.
How about they're in? They're in.
Nose.
It's a little bit too early, but they can be in some sort of beginning of decay.
Some proto ghouls. All right, cool.
Mhm.
All right. Next we've got discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project from you. Feel free to draw the new people however you want.
Dave, have you been tracking your hole?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I have in my head and my brain. My special
Got it.
brain.
Cool. Yeah. Big boy brain. Got it.
I'll tie right into that, and I'll start a project of an expedition to go check out this town for any further survivors. I don't know how distant they are apart, but I assume they wouldn't be like tremendously far. But let's say a week to prepare the expedition, a week to get there, and a week to get back. So 3 weeks.
That makes sense. 3 weeks.
And we draw some pool.
One of the true centers coming in.
Like true center, real middle.
All right. 5. Ace, king, queen, spring. I think that we have actually completed spring. So spring is complete.
Have we?
Played up. I'm pretty sure, yeah. I don't have any more cards to deal.
Are there any in? Some people have decks. Okay, I've got 3 in autumn. There's 2 in your deck, Dave. 2 spring cards in your deck.
Where's my deck at?
On the name line at the bottom.
Oh, okay. I see where it is. Okay.
I think you've got. Yeah, I'm only counting 11 on the table plus the 2 in your hand will be 13.
All right. Second. The next 2. All right, cool. And then let me do a recall on that other one. Give me a second.
Oh my god.
Whoa. All right. I'm going to move all those back. Oops. All right, so I'm going to do the 9 of spring, and then we've got one more after that. All right, so a charismatic young girl convinces Minnie to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect. Or a charismatic young girl tries to tempt Minnie into sinful or dangerous activity. What does she do? How does the community respond? I think I'm going to do a charismatic young girl convinces Minnie to help her with an elaborate scheme. The The elaborate scheme is she is going to start a magic school. She says that because the bombs have dropped, there is so much radiation in the air that now magic is possible, and she is a great witch, and she is going to convince people to join her school of quote unquote magic. So I'm going to draw in the magic school. Is it real? Is it fake? That is the scheme, my friends. This is the school.
So, who joins her endeavors?
She convinces pretty much all of the girls in the community, the young girls, teenagers, young 20-somethings, to all come to her school of witchcraft. So she's basically started a witch coven. That's her scheme.
Yes.
And where is this coven located?
It's inside town. It's over here. I've drawn it to the blue little triangles. I've tried to think about like Hogwarts or something. That's my
It's like
denotion.
at a high school or something.
Yeah. And I am going to discover something new. Wait, a project finished.
So
correct?
that's got to be a project. So I guess apply a die to that graphic, and then you're good to go.
A die to
How
what
many
graphic?
weeks? How many weeks does it take to
Start
create
project to
a
reflect.
coven?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm gonna say that it takes 4 weeks to gather, get the location, because there's real estate available, and then convince the people that there is actually like magic and that they could be. Well, no, there's real estate available.
Do you think it would take that? Do you think it would take that long? Because we're 3 months deep into an apocalypse and people are looking for meaning.
Yeah, I think 1 week is actually.
I don't think it would take long at all to convince folks to do something crazy.
I'm gonna say 1 week for that. Yeah, because there's free real estate. There's probably like some janky castle somewhere. Yeah, start the project. That's what we got. All right. I might also discover something new. In the center of town, where the geographic center is, people have been kind of like walking around there, and there is a helicopter in the sky, kind of like on the outskirts of community that they see. Or it could be a vertibird, whatever you want. There's just like
Say vertibird.
Yeah,
flying,
sure.
Flying vehicle.
Yeah, a flying vehicle that they can see. All right. Next up, we've got Jared. I've already drawn your card right there. 7 of Spring.
All right. So I have the 7 of Hearts. Where does everyone sleep? Who is unhappy with this arrangement and why? Or what natural predators roam this area? Are you safe?
Both of those are good.
The where does everyone sleep is pretty boring considering our abundance is real estate. That's kind of they sleep in their own individual house. Maybe there are people unhappy with this arrangement. Natural predators roaming this area, are we safe? Let me think about this. So the bombs have dropped. How does that affect the food chains and the ecosystems here? I think there is probably an uptick in coyotes, because really the only actual kind of like predator to coyotes in this area would have been humans. And now that there are fewer humans and coyotes kind of have free reign and there's a lot of carrion to eat, I think that the coyote problem has become significantly worse in this area. Are we safe? I think it could get tenuous. We do have the gun store. I'd say we're kind of in the Bible Belt. Pretty much everyone has like ownership of a gun or some type of varmint rifle. I think they're prepared for this type of thing. There is an uptick, but I think without constant vigilance, this could probably become an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a terrible canine looking creature over here on the outskirts. And maybe I put like another little one here too. Not that you can tell what any of it. It looks like a velociraptor actually, but they might be a little too small. But yeah, I'm going to go with a burgeoning population of coyotes. And I think to support this, I would like to add a new, discover something new about these coyotes. So during the
before
routine,
you do that, I will say that the vault is now the clearing of the vault is now complete. So I'm going to remove that from the.
We've got a pit.
Also, the robot graveyard excavation would wrap up this round.
That's right. What did they find in there?
Well, they were able to repair 2 protectrons, 1 construction protectron, and then 1 police officer protectron named Officer Grifty, who is a corrupt robot cop from Las Vegas. Other than that, not salvageable except for like metal bits and maybe a couple of Mr. Handy saw blade weapons. But other than that, nothing except for potentially useful construction protectron and then a grifting robot cop protectron.
Cool. I like it. All right, Jared, you want to discover something new. What is it?
Yeah. So during the routine hunting of these coyotes, even though they seem to be well nourished, they do appear to be mangy, hair falling out, perhaps the beginnings of some types of mutations, possibly because of the nuclear fallout. And they're eating a lot of carrion, which has died because of radiation and stuff. So I'm going to add some nuclear green details to the existing coyotes
situation
Rad
out
coyotes.
here.
Yeah. I like it.
And I think that wraps up spring.